Let's be honest about something. Can we be honest? Trucking is a failing industry. And if you think about it, it's a dying industry. Now, everyone will give you their own spill on why that is. They'll blame the mega carriers, the load brokers, Joe Biden, the war in Ukraine, gas prices, the government again with the cost of business, the red tape. They'll blame the hours of service, this thing right here, this tablet. They'll blame that too. But if you really think about it, they're all correct. And that's why trucking is a dying, failing industry. It's not really worth being in this line of work for a whole career if you think about it. Think of this, for the amount of time that a truck driver spends away from home, on the road, a truck driver is severely underpaid. If you ask me, a company truck driver should be paid around $200,000 a year, and an owner-operator with his or her own truck, their own authority, they should be at least $400,000 to $500,000 a year. But that's not the case. In fact, it's opposite. What is it, like the average truck driver's salary is 50 grand at company and just a little bit more than that as an owner operator? I'm talking about what they take home after taxes and business expense. And let's not forget, this is probably one of the most dangerous lines of work that you could go into, and you're bringing home that. There's people that have jobs that are way less dangerous and bring in way more money. Most people see a semi truck on the freeway, and if they don't know anything about trucking, all they think is, oh wow, that guy or girl is making all that money, they're a truck driver. But you don't know the truth until you become a truck driver, do this job, and you learn that that's really not the case. Not to mention, it's probably one of the most unhealthiest jobs that you can do, because when you live in a truck and you're away from home, you don't have access to a kitchen, which means you don't have access to clean, healthy food, which means that you're on a speedy path to becoming like a diabetic or obese. Let's be honest about this too. If you do your whole career as a truck driver, especially like a regional or over-the-road truck driver where you come home only like 2 days out of the week, think of all the life that you missed out on. Just normal things. I'm not talking about just Christmas, Easter, your birthday, your daughter's birthday. No, I'm talking about simple things like being able to get off work and walk the dog, go to the gym, take your wife out to dinner, hang out with your kids, kick your feet up on the couch, and like get off work and not be at work, be able to go home. You don't do that as a truck driver. This is your home, dude. When you're a truck driver, your home is just a place that you go visit every now and then. What kind of life is that for the average salary about like $50,000 to $80,000? You could make that in the trades and go home and live a normal life. What I seriously think it is most truck drivers just get complacent and they get used to going to sleep in the sleeper and waking up and driving the truck and doing it all day, every day, back and forth for years and years and years on end. But like I said, once you're close to retirement, you'll probably realize, man, I missed out on so much just being a trucker. And I could have been a firefighter, a cop, a welder, a carpenter, and I could have had a normal life with my kids and my family and my loved ones and myself. I kind of think of truck driving as trying to open up a Blockbuster in the age of Netflix. That's pretty much what it is. And that's not because of AI, it's because of everything that I said in the beginning of this video. The mega carriers, the load brokers, the politics, the gas prices, the cost of business, and just the grimy business that trucking is. It's a failing industry. When you have that much negativity in the line of work, why would you do it? I just really don't understand why you would do it. And yeah, I know it sounds hypocritical of me saying I don't know why anyone would be a truck driver when I'm a truck driver, but like I said, that's why this is going to be my last year in this line of work. And maybe it should be yours too. I'm going to give you something to think about. Now let's just talk about 9-to-5 jobs, the rat race real quick. When I was at the young age of 24, I kind of had this idea in my head that 9-to-5 jobs were not the way to go. And yeah, that was around the time when Grant Cardone and Robert Kiyosaki were blowing up on YouTube. We all know that those guys are scam artists like Tai Lopez. But I still believe at the age of 31 that 9-to-5s are probably not the way to go. And that goes for the carpenter, the welder, the school teacher, and of course, the truck driver. What you see going on in California with the income inequality, where there's no more middle class, where there's just a bunch of rich people and there's a bunch of poor people.
Get this, some $117,000 is now considered low income in San Francisco.
Isn't that crazy? And it's driving more people here who are in turn driving up our cost of living.
That's going to be the future of the whole United States. Now, what I've learned as far as money, there's 3 types of people when it comes to money. Either going to graduate high school and continue with their education like you should to become a doctor, a lawyer, some big-time scientist for the government. Obviously, that's not what I did. I'm a truck driver right now. I'm making up for lost time, and that's what you do when you go into the trades. The trades are usually for people who didn't take their education so serious, so now they're in the trades. And I'm not talking bad about those people. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing if you're complacent with being in the trades, but I want to give you something to think about. The third option are the people who went into business for themselves. Let's just think about someone like Joe Rogan. Before Joe Rogan was the Joe Rogan that we know of today, Joe Rogan was working construction.
My dad was an architect, so I did construction from the time I was in high school. All throughout the summer, I always had jobs on construction sites as a laborer or carpenter's assistant. So I was always around those guys.
And then when he moved out to Los Angeles, he was literally homeless living in his car while doing movie auditions, stand-up comedy, auditioning for radio talk shows. And a lot of that time was spent alone living in his car, living on the street, homeless. I know a lot of people don't like them, but look at the Paul brothers, Logan Paul and Jake Paul. Now, they were not born rich. They're from Ohio. They're from the middle class. Look at SS Sniper Wolf. Look at Casey Neistat. Look at your favorite actor. The one thing that all these people have in common is consistency. When Joe Rogan was homeless living in LA out of his car, he never gave up on his dreams. He never gave up on the reason why he moved to Los Angeles. That's what I like to call going for broke, which means you try to use as much time in your life as you can to pursue what you really want to do and not what you feel like you need to do. Why do you go to work? Because you need the paycheck, you need the benefits, you need the healthcare benefits. And that's totally understandable, but these employers know that. The reason why you have all these cool perks at work like dental, vision, healthcare, and anything else they'll give you. Right here at my company, they got this program where they'll give someone in your family, like your kids going to college, they'll give them a 30 grand scholarship just because you work here. Ask yourself, what is that? What's that really about? Because they don't make money on that, right? A business is in it for money. But do they make money giving your kid 30 grand to go to college? Yes, they do. They most definitely do. Because all of these benefits, plus the paycheck, like I said, truck drivers are underpaid. It keeps you coming back and back and back for more. And it's not just trucking. It's Amazon, it's warehouse work, it's construction, it's everything. They give you just enough for you to come back and back for more so you can continue to make your employer filthy rich. And that paycheck, those health benefits, that scholarship for your kids, that's the carrot that they dangle on the stick right in front of you to keep you coming back for more. That's what 9-to-5s are really all about. That's why the government has it set up to where us Americans, we get our health care through our employer for the most part. Unless if you're just straight up living off the government, you're going to get all three of your benefits, your dental, medical, and vision at your job. And the government has it set up like that because these big corporations are the same corporations that lobby the government. So it's in everyone's best interest for you to go to work. And there's a lot of security in that. I understand. Being employed and having a job is the safest way to go. And like I said about Joe Rogan, Casey Neistat, all those rich people, all those rich celebrities, they have something in common with you too. Consistency. They have consistency in common with you. You are being consistent going to work every day. They're being consistent with doing what they love every day. That's the only difference. Consistency is what you guys both have in common. The only difference is their consistency gives them a better payoff than yours.
When I was first starting out my YouTube career, I befriended a big creator. I go, how much do you make for one of those ads? But he goes, I make $30,000 for one brand deal. That completely blew my mind. Now, I know you're not impressed by that number, are you?
No. I would say like the biggest deal ever to bring up a brand is in the six figures, like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And like I said, there's a lot of security in being employed. If you go and tell your parents or your girlfriend that you're going to quit your job to become a YouTuber or an actor, they're going to look at you like you're nuts, dude. Until it works out because you stood consistent with it, because you never gave up on it. I want you to think of your 9-to-5 in a different way. Not as a career, but as something that you need to do kind of like a chore. Because let's face it, unless if you want to be on the street, you need a roof over your head, food in your stomach, and clothes on your back.
I don't have to do nothing around here except for pay the bills, put food on the table, and put clothes on your back. You understand?
But if you could keep all that to a minimum, you could literally work a part-time job, rent out a room. If you have kids, I totally understand it. What I'm talking about is mainly going to be for single people who don't have kids. And to those people, if you could keep your living expenses to a minimum and you could free up the rest of your time to do whatever it is you really want to do, the payoff is huge. You would really be surprised on how far you would get in going into business on your own.
I don't know if you heard the news, but Joe Rogan just got a $100 million deal from Spotify, according to Wall Street Journal.
I did 100 million views before I turned on monetization. So I remember I turned it on. And I remember like the first month, it was like $6,000. And I was like, oh my God.
So one of the buttons in the house is a welcome button, and it turns on all the lights at night. Wow.
And then like the next month, it was like $16,000. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like 16 times 12. Holy shit.
Bought a new house. I love when you sleep on me.
So these are all sliding doors. They're not just windows, and they all just open out. And you could just like slide them. Oh my God, the sky looks so cool.
And then the next month it was like 60 grand. And that's when I was like, uh-oh. And then like it just didn't stop.
This wasn't any accident. I mean, with an estimated RPM of $2, she could be making well over 1 million per month just from YouTube ads.
And it's an infinity pool. It looks cooler from here because you can't see the edge.
My foot itches. So the pool is nice. It's heated.
And then it's like, you know, it's 6 figures and brands start calling. It's just how much for you to talk about our brand on your channel.
And it's probably because I've networked with certain people. I got friends that have been on reality TV shows. I met girls in the adult industry. I know people that have gone into acting. And of course, we all know YouTubers, and we all know that they make a lot of money if they stick with it, if they stay consistent, right? There's other ways to make money that are going to give you a better payoff than a 9-to-5 job. And it doesn't have to be the entertainment industry. You could become one of the top real estate brokers in California, New York, Miami. You can definitely make that happen for yourself. You can literally become a real estate agent in the state of California and sell homes in the Hollywood Hills, in the Silicon Valley, Laguna Beach, you know, where the ultra rich people are buying homes. You could be their real estate broker.
Aaron Kerman knows how to close a deal. He sold over $6 billion worth of real estate during his career. He even sold a single property for $65 million.
And trust me when I say this, it's not out of reach. It is so not out of reach. All it takes is consistency, which you're already doing at work. You just need to apply your consistency elsewhere and take a risk. And trust me, the payoff is way better. So yeah, that's why this is going to be my last year in trucking. I'm going to take a bet on myself. I'm going to go for being a YouTuber, a full-time YouTuber. I'm thinking I might get like a part-time bartending job. I'll even go to school for it, like bartending school. That way when you come up to my bar, I'm not fucking up your drink and shit. But yeah, I'm just going to free up my time so I can focus on being a full-time YouTuber. I think that's where I could really make a lot more money and have a bigger impact on the world. So yeah, not only is trucking a failing industry, but I want you to think outside of the 9-to-5 rat race. It's not just trucking. Take a bet on yourself. Peace out. Thank you for watching.